So I'm finally getting around to doing the rear part of the suspension. Got some Bilstein 5100s here to match the front. And so I'm going to go ahead and put those on tonight. I bought some lift blocks to put in here to give myself a little bit of rake for towing and hauling. And as is the case with a lot of things these days, who knows where they're at. I got a tracking number the day after I ordered them, which was 2 weeks ago now. And since then, there hasn't been any activity on the tracking number at all. So I've contacted the seller, I've contacted Amazon. They said that I can get a refund, but I don't really want a refund. I want my product, you know? So I guess I'll have to do some more shopping. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and at least get the shocks on tonight, because the lift blocks I don't think will be very difficult. In fact, I'm planning on just what I usually do when I install lift blocks is just leave the truck on the ground with the wheels and tires on it, chock the wheels and tires front and back so that the axle cannot move at all. And then it's just a matter of zipping the nuts off, taking the U-bolts out, put the floor jack underneath of the leaf spring, because all you need is an inch. You know, usually these lift blocks are 1 inch. So you can put the floor jack under the leaf spring and jack it up just enough to pop your lift block in there, and then boom, you're done. Put the new U-bolts on, you're ready to go. So I'll probably do that. It won't take very long whenever they show up. And then the suspension will kind of be done on this truck for a while. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started on this. While I'm thinking of it, you know, I've been asked already the question that I knew was coming, which is, so do you miss your Jeep? And like I said, I knew that was gonna happen. You know, it was kind of a strange ordeal. You know, I special ordered that Jeep exactly the way I wanted it 8 months ago now. And I really loved it. I love that color too, the hydro blue color. Man, that looks so good on that truck. It was a nice vehicle. I guess the thing that I do miss about it is the features. That truck had a lot of really nice features on it. Things that after you have them, you take them for granted when you don't have them. That was the biggest adjustment for me, I guess, was just getting used to not having those nice interior features. The proximity entry where you don't have to fumble around for the keys at all. You know, the automatic climate control, heated steering wheel, which is one of my favorite things ever. Just on and on and on. It just had a lot of nice creature comforts, you know, and I guess that's what I miss about it. As far as the interior space goes, man, I love this full-size truck is awesome. It's just, if you got a family and you're doing a lot of different things, you just can't beat a full-size truck. I mean, you just can't. So I'm really loving this truck here. It's pretty awesome. But yeah, I mean, I guess the interior features is what I miss about the Jeep, which is okay. You know, I grew up driving, you know, bottom of the barrel basic trucks, so I can get readjusted to it all over again. Won't be a problem. But yeah, that took me a little while. But what I have found though, honestly, is that these Toyotas, even the Tundra and Tacoma both, they've got almost just as many aftermarket parts out there as the Jeeps do. I mean, I've found bumpers, winch bumpers for this, suspension parts, wheels and tires, auxiliary lighting. I mean, you can just go down the list. Anything you can buy for a Jeep, you can pretty much get for a Toyota. So this truck will be fun and a lot more functional, you know, for what I need it for. So I'm loving the Toyota so far. You know, I guess the elephant in the room is the fuel economy, right? I was getting a consistent 15 miles per gallon out of this truck, which I was really happy with. After I put these wheels and tires on here, it killed it. So now it's down to about 13 miles per gallon. I lost 2 full miles per gallon with the wheels and tires, which was a little surprising. So the fuel economy is atrocious on this thing, which most people know by now. But I was just bored the other day, so I started going down the list and adding up things that I don't have to pay for anymore. Now that I don't have the Jeep, I don't have to buy diesel exhaust fluid anymore. I don't have to buy oil that's $10 a quart anymore. I don't have to buy $45 oil filters or $40 fuel filters anymore. My insurance rates went way down because Jeeps are notoriously expensive to insure compared to other trucks and other vehicles. Not sure why that is, by the way, but they seem to be. And of course, my monthly payment on this truck went down as well. Taxable value went down. So you start adding all this stuff up, and actually I'm coming out ahead every month. And I've got a nice full-size crew cab 4x4 truck that'll do anything I need it to do. So it's all good. It's all good. I'm gonna really enjoy this truck here. And speaking of these Bilsteins, what I've noticed already when I did the front, I mean, these things ride really firm. This is the 5100 series, and they ride really firm, which takes some getting used to. But what I've noticed is that the ones on the front, I'm actually really liking them, because the body roll, you go around curves or, you know, through an intersection, turning left or right, you know, sometimes the pavement's wavy and you get that body roll, and I don't know, it's hard to explain, but these have really taken that out of this truck. There's like not hardly any body roll to it anymore. The truck feels more planted, and you know, the direction that you're turning the steering wheel, I mean, it's like straight as an arrow now, and it just doesn't have any feedback, I guess. It doesn't really want to toss your head around anymore. It's really made this truck feel more planted, and I think that's going to be a real good thing when I start to tow with this truck next month too. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to go ahead and do these rear ones. Unfortunately, the Toyota uses that stud on the top. You do have the nice bushing and eyelet on the bottom, but you got the stud on the top, which I hate, because these things are notorious for rusting up, and then you can't get the old one off again. So I think the first thing I'm going to do here is soak these down real good with some penetrating oil, and then I'll try to get them out of here. But oh well, it's always something around here, but it's fun though. So did I mention that I absolutely hate the shocks that have a stud instead of a bushing and a bolt? Well, this is why. What happens is you've got so much of that stud exposed up above the top that as the years go by, it gets weathered and rusted and full of grime and nastiness in the threads. And you can penetrate oil, put penetrating oil all over them, which is what I've done. I've soaked them 2 or 3 times, and it usually doesn't matter. They'll be so corroded that you never will get that nut to come off. And on the other side, I actually stripped out the top, you know, where it's got a place where you're able to hold on to the stud with some vice grips to keep it from spinning while you loosen the nut. And on the other side, it was so tight that it stripped out the top there. So now I have no way to hold on to it. So I'm totally dead in the water. And this one here, the top of it is holding on for now, but it's gotten so tight I can't turn the nut with a wrench anymore. And because they're so far up under there, you can't get a socket and a ratchet on there or an impact gun. So, you know, Toyota, Jeep used to use this same format on some of the Wranglers. You know, any 4x4 that's designed like this, the engineers should be taken out in the street and kicked, because that's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it never fails that you end up having to torch these things off to get them to come loose. So I've kind of run into a snag here. So yeah, like I said, at this point, you've got a couple of options. You can torch the stud, you know, and just cut it out with a torch. Or if you've got some kind of a battery-powered bandsaw, I guess you could go in there and just cut it, you know, and that way you can take everything out of the top mount there and let it fall out. The bottom shouldn't be a problem because it's got a proper bushing and bolt in it, but these top studs are a nightmare. So not gonna finish this up tonight, probably gonna take it down the hill to my father's garage where he's got more tools than I've got. And like I said, we'll end up either torching it out or cutting it out or something. But anyhow, that's going to be a wrap for this project for the night. I'm getting kind of tired of fooling with this crap. Every time I do something, it always goes awry. You know, things should not be this hard, and they always end up difficult for me. I mean, it's one nut and one bolt at the bottom. It should take 10 minutes to do this, but because of the crappy design, it ends up taking 3 hours. So it's a real shame because I was wanting to get this finished up tonight. The weather's actually still warm. It's super windy, but at least it's warm for now. I hate working on the truck when it's freezing cold, which is what's going to happen tomorrow. So I really wanted to get this done, but that's the way it goes. All right, guys, I guess I'll sign off for now and be back later when I get this project done to show you the wrap up on this Toyota Tundra build. Thanks for watching. See ya.